This is such an exciting day here at America's Best Tales. Today is the day we select our best in show. We have 11 first prize winners vying for the title of America's Best Tale and a grand prize of $5,000.
Yes, last week we met 6 of the 11 finalists, and today we'll meet the final 5. And then it'll be time to reveal our winner. We can't wait to get started, so stay with us. America's Best Tales starts now.
Hi, I'm Arthur E. Benjamin, and this is Farrah White, and this here is Bandit, and you can feel the excitement here in the studio as we get ready to crown our grand prize winner. See how he perked up?
Yeah.
It's been an amazing 11 weeks of animal rescue stories, and we're so honored to have met so many of these incredible people.
Absolutely, and we have a few more to meet today, or at least see again. As we mentioned, over 11 weeks we selected 11 first place winners. All of these winners are now eligible for our grand prize of $5,000. Last week we met 6 of them, so today we're going to meet the remaining 5. So let's get started. In show 7 we met Bodie. Bodie was rescued by DFW Lab Rescue. He was taken into a home that was devastated by the loss of another dog. Dana Morris and her family were heartbroken when they lost their dog, so Bodie filled that void. And Amy was rescued by Stacy Everett. Amy was in a puppy mill situation and has taken a long time to enjoy being a dog. Bodie, Dana, Stacy, and Amy are all here. So thanks you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Dana, let's start with you, because your family went through a pretty devastating loss of a pet. So let's kind of recap on that and then explain how Bodie came into your life.
Well, when we lost Reese, I was broke, just probably 2 weeks in bed eating cake, and that's it. That's all I could do. And we knew we would get another dog, and we have Rumor, and she's never been very dog friendly, just not horrible, but she just doesn't take in any dog. So we knew it would be hard to find another dog, but she was lonely and we wanted another dog. We want 5 if we could. And so we got a puppy, and it was just too much for Rumor, and it wasn't fair for the puppy. So we took the puppy back, and then I started looking on the rescue site, and I found Bodie, and when I read his bio I thought he would be good, and so I met him at a meet and greet, and he was so sweet with all the cranky dogs. So he came to our home, and he and Rumor just hit it off perfectly, and we hesitated initially because of his kidney failure, and we have a saltwater pool, and we didn't want him drinking out of the pool. It's dangerous for him. So we waited about 2 weeks to see if he would find another home, and he didn't, so we took him, and he really hates to swim. So there are no worries there. So he's just fit in perfectly, and he gets along with Rumor and all the dogs in the neighborhood, and he's just perfect for us.
Now, how old is Rumor?
Rumor is 11. And we've had her since she was about 4 months old. She's a rescue also. She came from a junkyard. So she has some issues, but we love her still.
Yeah. Right, well, it's good to be loved.
Yeah, and Bodie's about 4. So he's doing great. He's on blood pressure medicine to take the load off his kidneys. And he actually only has 30% kidney function, which is 10, 20 or 15, we really don't know which kidney. So there he is.
Oh, and he's got his Santa Claus collar on too.
So we've got a lab who doesn't like to swim.
That's right.
Yes.
A Shih Tzu who jumps in the bathtub any chance he gets.
He really doesn't. I don't even really think he knows how to swim. When he does, it's not very, it looks a little clumsy and wild, but we're going to work on that next summer, just not in the pool. But we live on the lake, so he'll get some practice.
So maybe he'll get some fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
And remind us again of the illness that took your other dog away.
Well, she wasn't, she was coughing and she just was having a hard time breathing, and we took her in, and she had been on medications for a while, and they did an x-ray, and she only had 20% of her lung capacity. She had a mass, and it just kind of came on suddenly. So we took her home for one night and loved on her, and then we had to say goodbye the next day.
But that was the best thing that you could have
Yes.
done, because time and time again we see people that try to hold on to their pets out because they love them so much.
Yes.
So
It was tough.
thank you for doing that, and being courageous enough to do that.
Hard, but it was, you know, the best thing for her.
Well, and you're representing DFW Lab Rescue.
Yes.
Which is a great organization. What do you think you like the most about that organization?
Well, they were so great when I contacted them. They did the visit to see to check our home, but then when I found Bodie, Robin, his foster, came over, and she brought him and stayed at our house for over an hour.
Oh, wow.
Just to see how he got along with Rumer, and if he liked us, if he felt comfortable. And I know she works full time, so to take an hour and a half and drive to our home in the evening, which I know she does all the time, was really sweet. And, you know, they're at the meet and greets every Saturday, you know, rescuing dogs and nursing them back to health. And
You can hear the conversation now. When she left the house, she said, "This is going to be perfect." She went out into the car,
Oh,
picked
yeah.
up her cell phone, and went, "Oh my God!"
This is a done deal.
well, we were worried about the pool because
Yeah.
he drank out of the pool, and it scared her.
Sure.
So, but
Well.
say I don't like water at all.
That's right. I'm glad that all worked out. And Stacy,
Yes.
now Amy has not had a very easy life.
No, she has not. Amy was a actual breeding dog in a puppy mill situation out in East Texas. When a rescue was initially called in, there was 9 Danes. They were in 4x6 hog pens. They had been in the pen so long that they had paced back and forth, had made trenches. These dogs were being fed bread, donuts from a neighbor, which the same neighbor had called and reported, you know, to the animal control in East Texas. So we went in, rescued, we pulled 9 dogs. 5 of them didn't make it due to health reasons. So Amy came out. Amy was so scared that they actually didn't know they were going to be able to pull her out of the pens and actually load her. Well, they pulled her out, got her loaded, and then another dog attacked her. So Amy was just a downhill spiral. So we got her into rescue. She came in. She was my 3rd foster. We had to work on a lot of her anxiety, a lot of the fear issues. This dog had just literally shut down. Any little noise, the ceiling fans scared her. This dog we were having to pull out of the crate. It was just like it was post-traumatic syndrome. We worked on this. Rescue provided a behaviorist for us to see if we can kind of get her more dog-like. Behaviorists came in, gave us positive reinforcement training with the clicker. So we were like, okay, we can do this, because we've done it with a couple of other dogs, you know, with training. So we got it going, and we got the clicker. Here it went. It went bad quick. Amy was scared of the clicker. So then we had to rethink it. Then we went to just the positive reinforcement that whenever she came out on her own, she looked at us or acknowledged any type of dog-like behavior, we threw a cookie. So gradually coming out of the cookie trail. This drove the rest of the pack crazy because I have 4 other dogs at the house. So it was dogs against the wall and trying to get Amy out. So we got her a little more stable. She could at least be a little more social. Yeah. So then we started going for meets, because Amy at this time is still my foster. So she was matched up several times. I mean, people just fell in love with the story and they could fix her, make her better. I can do that with most of their mentality. Well, when it came to the meet, they had saw actually how shut down she had been. So she had been refused. a few times. I mean, just outright refused upon a meeting. And then she was matched with other dogs. Well, the other dog, of course, won out, which was good for the other dog. So we just kind of came to the conclusion, is she going to be able to move forward in my household? So I'd called the board and said, hey, I don't know. Do we need to move her? See if we can start improving, other things with her. And they were like, no, because we don't have another house we could probably put her with that would be giving her the same attention.
So you literally came in and saved this dog in a situation where it probably wasn't going to happen.
If this dog would have went to a shelter or she would have been picked up by animal control, this dog probably would have been put down.
That would have been the worst.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time, and I just want to say thanks to Bodie and Amy for coming back to tell their stories again.
Both of you.
We're going to have to take a short break, but we want you to meet the final 3 contestants for America's Best Tales in the final finale, which is coming right up.
Back to America's Best Tales. Let's get to our final contestants. A few weeks ago, we found out about an amazing life-saving device used to help dogs caught in a fire. Matt Ratliff with Dog Scouts of America Troop 119 was instrumental in getting this in the hands of local fire departments.
And Blackie was found wandering the streets of a neighborhood filled with other dogs, but he kept coming back to Sally and coming to her house because of her, or maybe because of her dog Penny. And it was dog therapy that brought Maggie and the Tracy family together. It's an inspirational story that proves dogs have healing powers. Mart, Sally, Blackie, and Bonnie Hill are here with their respective stories.
So Mart, let's start with you. Tell us how you came up with the idea for these masks and how you got them into firefighters' hands.
Well, several years ago, my wife and I were watching television, and we saw a report about a house fire, and there was a pet that was caught inside. And they showed some footage of the firefighters trying to revive the pet. And we noticed the human mask that they were attempting to use was kind of flat and was kind of just held in front of the dog's nose. And we thought, man, there's got to be a better way to do that, to make that a little bit more effective. So we kind of started looking around and investigating, and we found these little contraptions that are used by veterinarians when they're applying anesthesia. But they can also be used to deliver oxygen absent of the anesthesia environment. So we were like, you know what, it would be really great if our group as an organization could help fire departments save pets' lives. And so we found an organization called Help Animals Incorporated, which is a nonprofit that helps get these distributed. And so we do our fundraisers, and then we purchase these masks and we donate them to the area fire departments.
And we had on a fire captain with you who is so grateful for the use of this and how many dogs it saved and what a difference it makes compared to the human form of oxygen mask.
Yes,
the
sir.
work you're doing is amazing. When did you get involved?
We started this program in 2005.
And how did you start getting them into local fire departments?
We just actually started contacting the fire departments and getting their safety or training department leads and talking to them, explaining to them what we wanted to do, and then setting up how many they needed depending upon how many vehicles they had, and then setting up the training for their EMTs to know how much oxygen to give for certain size animals and how to properly use the equipment, and then purchase them and making the deliveries.
Great.
Sounds simple enough.
What's the feedback?
It's excellent. I mean, we've had reports from homeowners, and this is one of the greatest things that we love to hear. The homeowners that are going through these tragic times say, you know what, even though my house was destroyed, the fact that they were able to save my pets just makes everything else worth it. And that just gives us a feeling of such pride to be able to have been a part of that, to help these people in a time when their home and their belongings are being destroyed, to help save a family of, or a member of their family, to help them, you know, be able to deal with that instead of having to deal with the loss of a pet in addition to all the other things.
Oh, yeah. So how many lives do you think these little jobbies have saved?
We don't have an exact number because the fire departments don't tally.
Sure.
But just kind of based on the anecdotal information that we received from the fire departments, probably close to 100 lives a year since we've been doing this have been saved just in the North Texas area. So,
That's amazing.
yes, ma'am.
And dogs are so susceptible to smoke.
Oh.
It's just,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us more about Group 119.
Well, it's a organization that promotes responsible dog ownership.
Now, am I saying it right? Is it 119 or 119?
Either one.
Okay.
119 is the way I say it. I think my wife says 119. But we're just an organization of dog lovers that promote responsible dog ownership. We like to do things within the community as well as joining together with other dog lovers. And so that's one of the things that kind of led us to this, is our interest in taking care of dogs. But it's really, you know, something that we like to get together and help folks understand how important that bond between humans and canines is.
Well, which is huge. And now we're going to move on to Sally.
Yes.
Tell us about your relationship with Blackie and how that rescue occurred.
It occurred when it was a cold night in December. I had just rescued Penny 2 weeks prior from Oak Cliff, and he just started hanging around our street because she had gone into heat.
hold your mic up.
Oh, he had gone into heat, or she had gone into heat, and he started hanging around our street, though he'd been in the neighborhood around a month. It took us 3 weeks to catch him because he was very wily, neighbors putting out food. It was 19 degrees at night, and finally utilizing Penny as bait, leaving the front door open and some food by the sofa in the living room. Got him in, and my neighbor came and slammed the door, and he was very, very, very skittish and feral, did tens of thousands of dollars of damage in my house, chewing up. He chewed up through a metal crate, woodwork. He had incredible anxiety. Anytime I would leave the house, he had intestinal parasites, so we now have no more carpet or rugs in the house. Chewed up brand new window treatments. Found him a home. He ran away from that and came back home, and that's when we had our running through the meadow moment because I was in tears. But now, 5 years later, he's our boy. He still suffers from a lot of anxiety because he was very, very severely abused. The first time I took him out on a walk from our office building, a man was holding a pole washing windows, and he started screaming at the top of his lungs and pulled me down, almost pulled me down, trying to run away, and pooped all over himself. And even today, when our cleaning lady comes, she comes twice a week to the house, and you know, she has mops and brooms and other scary things, and he hides the whole time under the bed. He's very, very fearful. You can't fold clothes too vigorously because that scares him, things like that. So he was even eating, he's very fearful. He's always looking around that somebody's going to come up and beat him.
And you're playing for Collin County Humane Society?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that organization?
Collin County Humane Society was founded by Molly Peterson, and she has built it into a phenomenal organization. I think there's over 60 fosters now. They pull them from kill shelters, from some outlying, if you want to call them shelters, where the dogs are living in horrendous conditions, as well as a number of owner surrenders, and you know, dogs that are just found on the streets. Get them completely vetted, completely healthy. I know there is one Chihuahua that they recently rescued who's having, I don't know, several $1,000s worth of orthopedic surgery, getting her back to health. And this year, in fact, it's the second year that we've done it. collecting money for pet owners who cannot afford the medical care that their dogs need. Dogs and cats need. And there's 5 of them that they select from entries that are submitted to collect money for the holidays to get the medical treatment if it's something specific, or maybe just their annual shots.
Wow,
You know.
and that's got to be
And
tremendously helpful.
We can speak from personal experience with Molly and Collin County Humane Society because of the work that we've done with. You were at Wags to Wave. Waves.
Yes, that's right.
And we're a constant sponsor of their annual event. And
Right, the
love
gala.
very responsible rescue.
Well, and it sounds like a great new addition to doing
Yes.
that, and very much needed.
Definitely with this economy.
So now let's go to Bonnie, and your sister is Connie. But first, tell us who you have with us today, and tell us who's on this dog's neck. You're gonna
Let's
have to
see
get
it.
up, puppy.
Come on, get up, wake up.
No laying down on the job.
The imposter is here.
She's impostering Maggie today because Maggie actually lives in Michigan and wasn't able to come all the way back for this show. So
Tell us, so your sister, Connie, and her son were having a really hard time.
yes, Connie actually had a son who was ended up having a drug addiction, something that they were really taken by surprise. They did not know he was having any problems at all. He was a football star in high school, so the school really covered up him not coming into school and not showing up. So she really thought she had this perfect family. And when they found out that he had this addiction when he went off to college, they sent him to Crossroads, which is a rehab center in Arkansas. And when you go there, you get a dog. And of course, Connie always teases him. She says that the only reason he went was because she said she would never own a dog and let a dog in her house. And so therefore it was his way of rebelling and going to the rehab center just so he could get a dog to make her even more upset. And it really ended up where Maggie did a great job for Darren, but really what Maggie did was he saved Connie. She was going through a Great Depression. Their family was splitting up because nobody really understood what was happening to their son. And it was a very difficult time, but when he came home from rehab, when he brought the dog with him, it was just like the dog really attached herself to Connie. And she just found out that she was a caring person, she did a good job as a mother, and that something would love her no matter if she was perfect or not. And Maggie really brought that out in her, and it brought their family closer together because it gave them something to play with, touch, talk about when they didn't really want to talk about all the issues, but they could talk about something that they had in common. And coming here to talk about this was a huge success for their family. Darren had never talked to anyone out loud about his addiction besides his family.
Wow.
So coming here and telling everyone about it was just really a huge step for them.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that,
was great
because we
having him on
didn't
the
know.
show,
Yes,
yeah.
he was amazing, and we had no idea that he had not done that. And you're here today on behalf of Kaufman County Animal Awareness Project. So we've got Mart, Sally, Blackie, and Bonnie.
Thanks so much to all of you for being here. We have to take another break, but don't go anywhere. We're going to reveal, you got to wake up, we're going to reveal the best tale of 2012.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. So don't go anywhere. That's coming up next.
Welcome back to America's Best Tales, where we're about to select our grand prize winner. Each of these stories has touched our hearts, and it's really hard for us to make this decision. There has to be just one winner, but it's so hard to make decisions. So before we do, let's do a quick recap. Farah, we have Shiloh,
Yes.
who had 8 puppies and came
Was-
through the worst of circumstances and still has a boot on her foot.
Yes.
We have Barley. We have Peppy, who had a jar on her head and on his head, and went through again the worst of fighting circumstances to come through and stand here for all dogs who have been used as bait dogs. We have Equest, who has put Stacy and Samantha here, with us.
Yeah.
We have Amelia, the greyhound with 3 legs and the Christmas collar, who has an incredible story, as do many of the greyhounds. We have Bodie. We have Amy. We have, and Amy is still suffering with all sorts of challenges. We have the Dog Scouts of America with the masks from the fires. We have Blackie, who is very notably here by sound. And we have Maggie, right?
Yes. And reminder was Maggie actually is in Minnesota? Michigan.
And they came all the way here for one of the shows. And
They did.
In terms of a dog doing something for a human being, and it's also about
Yeah.
human beings doing something for dogs.
Sure.
It's an incredible story and has changed their lives. And for us, this is really hard because we'd like to give you each of you a prize.
Well-
But it has to be one $5,000 prize. And so we've talked with the Oracle, who's more interested in the other dogs than awarding a prize, and we've had to make a decision. You want to say anything?
I'm glad that it was Bandit making this decision because I would have been a wreck. This would have wrecked my weekend.
Well, all I can say is, very honestly, I will never forget this 11 group of shows and the difference it's made in my life to be able to see the American Dog Rescue as part of each and every one of these rescues. So without that, let's step forward and make the announcement. The official 2012 American Dog Rescue Award for America's Best Tale goes to
Shiloh.
Shiloh. Come get it. Shiloh.
Rescue me.
Microphone.
Oh, here you go. I'll let you get in the middle.
Thank you, thank you. We just cannot be more pleased, and we are so excited, and we just are just amazed that you have put this on for us and what you do for rescue.
Well, thanks again for all of our winners and being part of the grand finale. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. We've really enjoyed doing America's Best Tales.
Yes.
If you want to learn more about us,
You can go to our website, americandogrescue.org, and as always, be sure and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
I'm Arthur Benjamin, along with Farah White and Bandit, who's having a good time. For all of us here at America's Best Tales, thanks for watching. See you on For the Love of Dogs next time.